Hello everyone, my name is Corazar, and welcome back to the Incomplete Guide to Starsector. We are back here in Sindria, and we are about halfway-ish through a kind of longish quest, at least for a single system, to kind of destabilize Sindria, because the supreme commander, or supreme executor of Sindria, Philip Andrada, is possibly on his deathbed, possibly a vegetable. And so there's a bit of a power vacuum, and we are here to hoover up that power vacuum. Or I guess we are the vacuum, if we're the hoover. Anyway, we are here because this is a very lucrative mission, and because once it's complete, we will be getting a lot of money, as well as possibly, if we play our cards right, well, they're not here, but one of the big fancy ships that the Sindrian Diktat sells. And we are tasked, actually, with, you can see here there's a yellow exclamation point. We have to go and beat up some Sindrian folks because, well, they didn't really do anything that wrong. They're smuggling heavy armaments because the military is so corrupt that they sold, or they got rid of their armaments and had to buy more, and had to get them off the black market. So, yeah, they're in a bit of a rough shape. But we need to go and teach them a lesson. They got to do things by the rules, even if those rules are broken by, well, everybody else. Now, before we get started, I wanted to come in here because I forgot to allocate our skill point to ourselves. And I'm kind of vacillating between two options here. One is polarized armor. Not because it's like super necessary for the armor, but because with the elite skill, we get a huge bonus on the speed at which we dissipate flux when active venting. And that's kind of key to our build with our Odyssey here, because we need to be able to get in, get out, dump our flux, and then get back into combat real fast. So that's a really nice one to have. On the other hand, target analysis means that it doesn't matter what size our ship is, but we, and only we in our ship, deal 10% more damage to destroyers, 15% to cruisers, and a whopping 20% damage to capital ships. And if we spend a skill point on it, then we will deal an extra 100% damage to weapons and engines, meaning when we are shutting down people's weapons and engines, they just go down super fast, which is really handy for when we are flying in our Tempest here, because we have a lot of EMP damage coming out of our ion pulsar. So I'm actually leaning toward, oh man, I don't know. You know what, let's do polarized armor, because that will put us at next level. We can get hull restoration, and then we can focus on the red skills. And we're going to go ahead and story point that, get our flux dissipation going, and we're done. Okay. So let's get moving up this direction. There you are. Hello. Sindrian Diktat. Patrol, and yes, so the ship that we can possibly get from this is the one on the left. It is their big, fancy, rebuilt Pegasus. It is called the Executor, I believe. Hello. Yes, Executor. So because we are talking to them and they are not operating with official sanction from the faction they belong to, then if we fight them, it won't cause any changes to our Sindrian reputation, which is perfect. They are aware of our identity. Okay, great. Let's open a comm link. Hey, buddy. You've been scanned. Maintain distance. Interference in military affairs will be considered an act of insurrection. The Diktat commander gives a perfunctory salute, saying, "Victory to the Diktat," before moving to cut the transmission. And it's kind of hard to say, victory to the Diktat. It's a lot of weird words there. Let's see. Not a lot of weird words, a lot of weird sounds. You are under arrest by order of Chief High Inspector Dolos Macario, or bad news, You've been sold out by Dolos Macario. Let's pretend like we're arresting. I mean, we don't really care. We're mercenaries, right? Oh, no, he hates us. Absurd, he shouts, annoyed. I should have you arrested for claiming false authority and making a mockery of the Sindrian diktat. Let's transmit the arrest warrant. Now you see true fear fall across his face. Macario's reputation doing its work. This could be faked. It must be a fake. The diktat commander's eyes dart around, looking for some escape. Why would he send you? Let's do... do I want to story point this? Nah. Do the right thing and surrender yourself without a fight. Dun dun dun. They're like, no. We're like, really? You guys don't stand a snowball's chance. Okay, whatever. So he says, he laughs cruelly. You would make such a demand from that puny fleet? Do you have functioning eyeballs, dude? Okay. It is I who will see your fleet burn. I hereby declare you a criminal and traitor for the crimes of falsifying official documents, threatening an officer, and attempting to undermine the authority of the Supreme Executor. A death in space is better than you deserve, terrorist scum. He looks over his shoulder and gives a wave. The comms cut out, and the opposing fleet maneuvers to an attack posture. Okay, I guess we'll just, take a quick walk all over these guys. What does he have on him? High intensity layers, a lot of kinetic damage, and a whole bunch of, well, more kinetic beams. Okay. And locusts. Well, let's transfer command. We're going to take our big ship out just to show him who's boss. And wave our big ship around in front of his face. And let's do... I think for the most part, his other ships were pretty small, except for the Eagle. So let's just give all of our officers some more experience. And we'll bring these guys along. It's probably overkill, but I want to get them experience, because I know a couple of these guys are still like level 3, 2, 3. Yeah, these guys have been kind of slow to level up, so let's get them the experience, and I don't think we really need any more than that. Let's get you and you. I want you with me, and you with me, just so you don't go off on your own and get killed, because you will. And let's see, let's have you just kind of go up there and hang out. That ought to do. Let's put you with you. Yeah. Okay. Let's start kicking some butt. Alright. I think largely I'm not really going to worry about orders too much. Let's have you kill him. We'll have you engaged, which means you guys should get close. I don't want them getting too close with the Eagle here, but we should be able to come in and take care of the Eagle pretty quickly. Whoops. There we go. And you know what? We are going to have people avoid that guy. And we're going to come in here for the sneak around and be annoying thing. Let's see. Let's fire off these guys. We'll swap to... let's swap to our sabos. Yeah, rough news for you, my friend. Oop, that was a weird angle. See if we can get our... Yeah! Get our anti-metal bashers going on there. Bonk. I do enjoy doing that. There we go. Alright, we'll give our guns a chance to recharge a little bit. And you need to get out of there, buddy. Come on. No. See, this is why your ship is so beat up, is that you keep doing that stuff. Alright. Okay, yeah, you shouldn't be fighting him alone. We're gonna kill that order. I want you to kill that. I want you to kill that guy, too. You're all kind of bunched up over here. And you can come and just kind of hang out here. Alright, let's go annoy this guy. Get these guys going. Phew. And you are just sitting here. That's annoying. So the locust swarmer that ship has isn't a huge threat to us. It's annoying, sure, but it's just a bunch of really tiny little missiles. Okay, let's go ahead and start just laying on the hurt. This guy isn't going to last very long, I don't think. I guess our A and B has already fired their shots. It's okay. There we go. Poor guy. And he's gone. Anybody else here? I don't think so. Alright. Lost 100 crew. Good grief. It's probably all that guy. Where is he? Is that you? Where's our other hammerhead? Oh, it was you. Of course it was you. This guy, man. Oh, he's reckless. No wonder. Okay, I think I'm on the wrong ship. Let's see. There are some who want to escape. We're going to pursue them and annihilate them entirely. Let's send out a few of these guys. There we go. So here we go. Your forces engage in pursuit as ordered. No ships escape. We recover some combat readiness. And, oh, that's cool. I didn't know you did that. Huh. We've arrested the traitor. And we also got an intact cargo pod containing an advanced weapon system. Part of the shipment being smuggled under Hyder's orders. We gained a giga cannon. We'll take a look at that in a minute. So we now have to go and speak with Oshana Hyder. Yeah, we'll get our ship back. Sure, why not? And didn't get a chance to take the Executor. I'm not sure if you can, if it's scripted to never drop out of this battle. I've never seen it, I don't think. Got our ship back. Doesn't have any more D-mods because it's already maxed out. And yep, there's the Gig Cannon. Ooh, we do get the high intensity lasers. Those are nice. Okay. And we'll do, a level up on an officer. And, no thank you. Okay. So we have an officer who wants to level up. That would be you. Hey, hey, not bad. What do we want on you? Systems expertise is a nice one. You know what? Yep, we'll do it because that means that the ability to use the accelerated ammo feeder will be a lot more accessible to him. Be able to use it basically twice as often. So yes. Please and thank you. And you, no thank you. Just no thank you. So we need to go and find Oshana Hyder. Now, I think she is also a fleet somewhere in here. Let's see. Oshana Hyder, she commands the Asconian Assistant Defense Armada. Yes, a large war fleet. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and we'll save our progress. And let's go ahead and see what we can find here. I'm looking on the radar, along with the Mr. Coffee. Ooh, a hound. Oh boy. Oops. I press buttons. I don't mean to. Bad things happen. I think she should be somewhere near Sindria. Maybe. Aha, here we go. Now she might intercept us, but I'm not positive. Hyder! Oh my goodness. They're just patrolling. Wow, her fleet's really banged up. Wow. I'm gonna pop in here real quick and... Nope, nothing going on here. We will repair our ships though, and we will also unload some of this junk. So let's take a quick peek at the Giga Cannon. This is basically an oversized antimatter blaster that doesn't have unlimited ammo. It does, however, have a refire delay of 10 seconds, so same as the AMBs. And it does about 600 more damage than the antimatter blasters do. It's a lot more efficient, basically only using about as much flux as the AMBs. But it's kind of a waste because you're basically getting a small weapon in a large weapon slot. Sure, it has almost double the range, but generally speaking, the sort of consensus in the community is that this really is a neat weapon, but not a really good one. Now these are 500 damage a second, constant high explosive damage. Wonderful, wonderful pressure. Now, yeah, I'm going to get some more crew because we're getting kind of down to the wire there. There we go. Okay, so let's go talk to Oshana and her really banged up fleet. Hello. Oh my. If we fought them, that'd be a real nasty one. So we have 2 additional groups supporting their side. That'd be rough. Oshana Hyder appears on the comms, already seething. You attacked a flotilla of the Sindrian Diktat Navy and kidnapped the commanding officer? An officer acting under my direct orders? I offer you this one chance to stand down and surrender honorably before your fleet is destroyed. Let's see. So we can spill the beans. If we want to really cause some chaos here, we can spill the beans. I don't know if we'll still get paid if we do that, though. I think we're going to do this one. We'll lie to her. Because we're going to know that Macario doesn't really like her anyway. We'll lie to her. There we go. Hyder looks at you for a moment, her opinion perhaps shifting. I appreciate your honesty. It is more than I would expect from one of Macario's creatures. So you don't approve of Macario's methods. He conducts himself without a shred of honor while wrapped in the banner of the Supreme Executor. He twists the words of Philip Andrada to serve his own degenerate desires. She pauses, seething. She continues, Macario says what is useful to himself. Observe the results of his actions, paranoia, inefficiency, and lawlessness. Well, that's the worst one of all. Yep. Speaking of the law, Hyder crosses her arms, you have an officer subordinate to my command. I will take them into custody to deal with per naval court-martial. I'm going to bring the guy back to Macario, I think. I see, Hyder says flatly. I offer this. Your objection will be recorded, then you will transfer the prisoner. I shall assume responsibility for the question of jurisdiction, This will fulfill your obligation and leave the matter to the law of the Sindrian Diktat. Sure, here you go. Good, Hyder says, then gives orders to a subordinate to begin the process of prisoner transfer. Now then, I believe our business is concluded for the present, she says. Tell Macario, she spits his name out like a rotten piece of food, that my loyalty to the Supreme Executor is unquestionable, and that I shall be making a report of his waste of naval resources to my superior. Yeah, about that. She pauses as she reaches toward the comm shutoff. What is it, Captain? Macario was right about one thing, at least. Hyder is not difficult to read. You've made a mixed impression. It feels like she doesn't quite trust you, but she is operating in a nest of vipers and wants to trust someone. Somehow. Why does the Deputy Star Marshal of the Sindrian Diktat need to smuggle weapons? Captain. Though not without some character befitting an officer, you are an outsider and cannot be expected to understand. The Diktat has enemies within and without. If it is fighting with itself, it will never survive. I must do what I must do. I must do what I must to maintain our strength, even if I am put into, herd up curls, an intolerable position. With Philip Andrade as good as gone, what are you loyal to now? The speed at which Hyder smashes the privacy field activation switch is impressive for a woman of her years. She looks suddenly more tired than ever before. If the Supreme Executor was dead, we wouldn't be having this conversation. Macario would like to line his pieces up just right. And you are as good as one of them. I have little patience for this, she says. Choose your words carefully. Who should lead the Sindrian Diktat when Andrade is dead? You? She lets out a cynical laugh. No, not me. I'm not a great man like Philip Andrade. Give me a fleet, my orders, and my cause. That is all I need to do my duty. She looked up and away. He was different. He had vision and a surety of purpose that moved history itself by will alone. How at the Lion's Guard could Caden lead? Provided the Navy did not stand in his way, provided the Supreme Executor was dead, then he would be the next in line. Could he lead? She scoffs. The Lion's Guard is his personal empire, his church, his cult, sucking up resources for a parade navy. We could have made the Sindrian Diktat strong, even great, but Caden had to start a religion. She looks away. Andrade enjoyed the worship. He favored Caden, and it blinded him, impaired his judgment. Caden would martyr us all to the idol he's built of Andrade. I doubt even Macario could really control him. I'm sure he thinks he can. Sometimes the best leaders are those who don't want the position. Consider it. She just looks at you for a long moment, unspeaking. The comms cut to a holding pattern. And we will leave. And then we'll pop back in here to Sindria. Clunk. And go talk to our buddy. Quote, buddy. After a short wait, Macario's image appears. He looks like he is anticipating a tasty meal. Captain, I am so pleased to have you join me once again. Deputy Star Marshal Hyder was not too upset? You didn't defend your sense of honor too deeply? But no, I should allow you to speak. He winks and taps the datapad. He gives us 15,000 credits. He unfolds his hands in a show of magnanimity. Magnanimity. Oh, boy. Englishing today. Do go on. Let's see. Well, she hates you. Yes, he says. I know that already. I'm just being thorough. Of course, well done. He drums his fingers impatiently. Let's see. She doesn't believe Caden can successfully lead this Sindrian Diktat. Yes. Macario leans back, tapping his fingers together. She's not wrong to see it. Ha! Caden. Imagine him in charge. Dress up in parades while the worlds crumble. Not to worry, he says cheerfully. Caden will perform quite adequately as figurehead, provided he's given plenty of little distractions. She doesn't want to lead the Sindrian diktat. Good. You can't run a polity like a battleship. Macario shakes his head. Now, if she'd simply recognize that the business of ruling should be handled by someone more capable. Let's think about some lies. It may be to your advantage to tell Macario certain lies. He seems perceptive, so it's unlikely that you can get away with telling too many. I'm going to say that she will back you as leader, though she is reluctant. Truly. He leans back, rubbing his chin. This is an unexpected turn. As a trained military commander, perhaps Hyder recognizes, despite her personal feelings, that aligning herself with a powerful leader will lead to the best outcome. Let's leave it at that. To tell the truth, Macario pauses to suppress a strange sound like a hiccup. You've been very illuminating. He leans back, hands grasping one another. You could make a reasonable agent, were you more discreet. He smiles hollowly. Far more discreet. Happily, I have just the thing. The level of discretion is up to you. You'll find that I supervise with a light hand, contrary to the lies told about me. If you need to raise a few habs from orbit to extract an agent, why, then I accept your professional judgment. But let me explain. He taps an unseen datapad. The Lion's Guard has its own intelligence section, of course. Wild about strong-jawed young men enforcing correct ideology and demonstrations of loyalty. He adopts a patiently patronizing tone, light on tradecraft. Sadly, one of Caden's agents on Umbra has been working for the insurrectionists from the beginning, he says. Take the agent by force. Once he calms down, Caden will approve of you cleaning up this embarrassment. You'll see. Just let him think he's in charge. It's all it takes. Okay. Macario smiles mirthlessly. You'll get along splendidly, provided you can pretend your greatest aspiration is to lick Andrada's boots. Off you go now. He stretches, straightens his uniform, then hits the comms cutoff without another word. Okay. Let's go and see what we have to do here. I think we have to go to Umbra, he said? Yes, go to Umbra. Okay. Umbra, where are you today? You're up there, okay. Oops, wrong button. And away we go to Umbra. Uh-oh. Oh, we don't like the Luddic Church again. Oh well. Oh my. Little baby fleets, that's fine. Transponder off, and let's go see what's here. Now, we can just raid to get the agent back. So we can just go ahead and raid it. And we will pretty much get it without too much problem, because look at our raid strength, 1034. Or we can also go into the dockside bar. Where's it here? Talk to the war boss. Here we go. I like how these are like tough pirates and like, oh, hello, how can I serve you? Sheesh. Let's see. So we can just say we're looking for an agent, or help him fight the diktat, or spend a story point. So we can either raid or do a story point. And I'm kind of leaning toward the story point because it's, I don't know, interesting. A triple agent. You explained that an agent who Horatio Caden thinks is working for the Lion's Guard and who the Resistance thinks is working for them is in fact working for a separate branch of Sindrian Dictat intelligence entirely, under Dolos Macario's command. A triple agent, in other words. How else would you have such detailed inside information stolen directly from Macario's insect database? It's a complex story, but you begin to see your suggested truth sink into Aladak's Titan. So, they've been working for the Indies the whole time, he says, shocked. But how'd you get this information? Who do you work for? Let's see. A deep cover arc site never heard of, sure. Sure, okay, man. That makes sense. Yes, he slowly nods. Well, I am glad to meet you, comrade. We shall further the revolution together. So about this triple agent serving the forces of reaction. Of course. I appreciate your dedication to the cause. I'll have the traitor turned over to you, but he really should properly be ours subject to revolutionary justice. He puts on a generous tone. But we're for building bridges for the united front, right? So will come the day we will ask you for a favor, and we will expect it to be returned for the front. It's a funny sentence there. I trust, he says grimly, that you will see them to an appropriate end. Naturally. Okay. We have our double agent. Let's see, do we want to buy anything here? I don't think we do. Just a hunch. Yeah. Okay. So we have our triple agent, who is totally a triple agent for realsies. And we're gonna zip our way out of here. Hello, are you interrupting me? Really? You really are? Really? You want to do this? Ah, okay, so they are revolutionaries. Interesting. Okay, well, I guess we're doing this one then. Let's rumble. Let's see. You know what? I'm going to take out the Tempest today. I do think so. Let's get all of our officer chips out there first. Make sure we have room for them. And then we'll bring out a few larger ships. We're going to bring out you. And probably a couple of you guys too. I think that should do. And we'll do our usual stack up. It's been a while since I flew in the Tempest, I think. Bring you over here. Let's team you up. You know what? You need to guard him, I think. You go with him. And I'm going to send you with that, with the drover. And you with the griffin. Okay. Let's go and cause... Oops, wrong button. Let's go and shoot our drone, like I was saying. Let's go cause some chaos and havoc here. After I capture this point. Alright. Hello. Got bad news for you, buddy. Enemies on the radar yet? No, they're coming down this side. So, we are going to we'll capture you. We'll set a defend order. A pair of them right there should be fine. And we will sneak around here and just clean up these goons. Hello. Goodbye. Hello. Pew, 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 pew. Off you go. How is this fight going over here? We're just getting started, looks like. Alright, so we're going to kill these defend orders because they just get in the way, I think. And we are going to watch our hammerhead die again. That's what he does, apparently. But we need to probably just engage this guy. That should probably be fine. And he'll have no trouble taking that point, so I'm not super worried about that. Okay. Let's roll. Let's keep these guys off of the rest of our fleet. A good night to you, sir. Now, you guys, would you guys please go and actually fight things? A cruiser and a destroyer going after a frigate. Yeah, okay. Alright, our turn to cause some trouble back here. Ooh, hello. Let's just zap you while we're here. This really should be a kind of a no-brainer here. Ooh. Someone died. Whoop. Goodbye. Oh my. No, thank you. Oh, did you have to do that on top of me, dude? That actually hurts, you know? Okay. Where am I? Oh, he's gone. The fighters are actually kind of a threat to us, so gotta be careful. Hello. No weapons for you. Friendly fire on those annihilators. I think we're done here. Alright. Yeah, you're not getting away. And none of our ships are in there, so nope, we're good. Don't mind if I do. Hey, another officer level up. Sweet. And I don't think I want the Enforcer, but I will at least do a quick salvage everywhere. Yep. Rough shape. So who is leveling up here today? It is you. Hey, awesome. So you have gunnery implants and energy weapon mastery. That's right, we get our pick of 6 here. Right. Now I had, somewhere here, a note on what skills I wanted these guys to have. And I wanted to get them helmsmanship, target analysis, and combat endurance. Well, luckily we have helmsmanship. One of the 3. Okay, let's do it. That'll make you even faster and more ridiculous. So there we go. Perfect. And now let's go and see if we can find the Caden guy that we need to talk to. And let's see. Oh, transponder on. Don't need patrols deciding that we are bad people. Even though we are. That's fine. Ah, Caden, buddy. Parading. Love it. Come here. Come here. There you are. Okay, open a link. Horatio Caden, Grand High Deputy Executor of the Sindrian Dictat, appears before you, looking satisfied with himself. Independent Fleet Captain, he roars, standing. You have crossed the will of the Supreme Executor. Looking at the comms, his voice lowered and gravelly, Caden adopts a practiced pose of menace and authority. A grave error, soon corrected. He turns, as if you're not worth addressing. You have captured an asset pledged to my authority. Surrender them immediately, and I might contemplate leniency at the dictation of your punishment. Let's see. I'm tempted. So, Macario told us to sort of, like, show that we're a bootlicker to Andrada. But I don't know if... Well, let's lie, sure. We'll do it. I am nothing but loyal to the Supreme Executor. I can prove it. Then do so, Spacer, Caden shouts. The swift sword of justice does not rest easy in the Sindrian Dictat. Demonstrate your loyalty. Transfer the agent to my fleet, and I shall judge the situation and produce appropriate action. He lowers his voice dramatically. Severe, if necessary. I'm going to say Macario ordered the arrest, so I must deliver the agent to him. Macario, of course, doesn't seem to particularly care about the fate of this agent. But his overstepping of authority might drive a wedge between him and Caden if you could put the idea in Caden's head. Do not test my patience, Spacer. Caden is turning redder again. Here, I am the representative of the Supreme Executor's ultimate will. To oppose my demand is tantamount to an attack on the state, degenerate terrorism, sedition, and treason. Let's see. Do we use this to try to drive the wedge? But Macario said only his authority was second to the Supreme Executor. Sure, why not? Is that what Macario told you, he says, leaping on the suggestion, that my authority does not reign second to the Supreme Executor? Caden turns away, fuming. The presumption of that two-faced traitor. He should not push me, for if I but willed it, he would be executed in the street. Spacer! Caden is back, redder than ever. Your ignorance is pitiable, so I shall correct it. In our great tower of authority, Philip Andrada sits at the apex. He raises a hand, fingers pinched, as if showing you a model. Beneath him is the guard High Deputy Executor, myself, at the head of the personal guard of Philip Andrada, sworn to protect him in body and spirit, to uphold his transcendent Andradan ideology, to pursue traitors and their degenerate thoughts to purge traitors and their degenerate thoughts from the universe. Dolos Macario is a mere bureaucrat, one of many who operate the ministries of the Supreme Executor's machinery of state. I'm afraid his excessive contact with the terrorists and degenerates has given him impure imaginings regarding his position in our great movement. It is my duty to correct his errors. Caden is marching back and forth on his bridge, the receptors and comms interpretation software struggling to maintain a steady positioning of the image. The agents you have detained is under my authority, and if they weren't, they would be by my decree in the name of the Supreme Executor. Caden stops and looks directly into the comms. Now, transfer the prisoner to my fleet. Yeah, sure. Sure, dude. Glory to the Supreme Executor and his Sindrian Dictat. Death to traitors, he shouts. You hear a metered repetition of Caden's last words, presumably from his bridge officers. Caden turns back to you. Your dutiful loyalty in purging a traitor from our glorious state will be surely rewarded. After the dictation of justice and public execution, of course. So, Caden's eyes narrow on you. How does the Chief High Inspector General of the Sindrian Dictat come to trust a spacer with such an essential matter of internal security. Here it comes, time to work your angle. Let's see. I think we should pit them against each other. That could be fun. Oh? Cade makes a show of chuckling, rolls his eyes at this conspiratorial talk for his bridge crew, then activates a privacy field around his command station. He drops the expression. Macario has sworn loyalty to the Supreme Executor. I have his personal assurances on the matters of the future. Speak plainly, Spacer. What are you playing at? As I said, Macario believes he will rule the diktat with you as his puppet. Me? A puppet? Caden forces out a painful-sounding laugh. That spider has been cooped up too long in his torture bunker. Too far from the martial leadership that produces men of quality. Caden thumps his chest, setting metals jingling. You're right, he's crazy. You explain Macario's words describing Caden as liking to play dress-up and have parades. You can see the color rising again in his face. I shall let him talk as he wishes. Let him show his true nature, Caden says with cold anticipation. He will scheme his way into his own trap, and his downfall will be all the more satisfying. He nods to himself, perhaps pondering how he will deal with Macario. Dolos Macario is a strange man to rely on you. Such an unreliable element. He waves a hand dismissively. No offense intended, of course. As an outsider, you do not undergo the discipline and spiritual cleansing induced by total submission to transcendent Andradan ideology. I feel it will be more appropriate for matters within the Sindrian diktat to be settled by true followers of the great movement, not decadent itinerants. Mark my words, Spacer, when I reign, the slack shall be tightened. You would do well to study the teachings of the Supreme Executor, where they map the future of the Persian sector, and indeed the galaxy. You seem pretty confident they'll be the next Supreme Executor there, pal. Of course. His eyes twitch like he's trying to determine whether your comet contains superfluous elements. Let's see. I'm going to lie to him and say we'll help him. Naturally. I do not need to assistance. Naturally. That is I think a typo. Naturally, I do not need assistance of outsiders like yourself, but... He looks slightly up and to the side. A practiced pose to emphasize his retreating jawline. It is the sign of good intuition to align yourself with the great movement, to pledge yourself toward a cause which, though you are ignorant of its particulars, shines with the genius of Philip Andrada. Study well his writings, and you may begin to understand the glorious future which awaits. Sure, glory? Alright. Glory to the Sindrian diktat. Victory to the Lion of Sindria, he says fervently. Alright. And now we can go back and report to Macario. And I think we're getting to the end of this quest line, in which we should get some pretty good swag. Okay. After a short wait, Macario appears before you. He looks hungry. What an interesting time you must have had on Umbra, but never mind that. Tell me, Captain, what was your impression of Horatio Caden? He adopts a superficially eager and receptive look, then raises a finger. Ah, before I forget, and taps the datapad. We gain 15,000 credits again. Let's see. Ooh. Yeah. I'm not sure why there's two separate ones. Like, maybe some of these should be hidden, I think, because, like, he doesn't trust him, so why would we tell him that and mean it, you know? He trusts you. Splendid. Excellent. Macario's tone doesn't match his words, as if he's disappointed. He needs something plausible. I told him you were committed to taking down his rivals, particularly Hyder. Well, yes, that's obviously true, and he should well know it without an unusually helpful spacer pointing it out for him. Macario sighs, irritated. I'm surrounded by idiots, he mutters. Captain, he sits up, speaking clearly now. I suppose if it works, it works. I would be bored silly if it weren't for the inventiveness of Letic Zealots and the hegemony's meddling. Are you familiar with Orcus Rao? Oh, he's a character. A worthy opponent, I think. Indulge me a moment. I think you'll find the comparison with yourself amusing. Some kind of alert chirps on Macario's side. He holds up a finger indicating that you should wait, and he turns aside with a killing look on his face. He opens his secondary comms. This had better be very important, he says, almost sing-song. His expression goes slack, processing what he's being told. Then his brow furrows. Acknowledged, he says, then turns back to you with a fragile smile. I must beg you for a quick favor, dear Captain. Let him talk. He closes his eyes for a moment. A matter of great urgency and interest has arisen. I need you to make a fast intercept to this transponder location coming in through the fringe jump point. One of my, agents who has been working for Tritachyon Space is being pursued. They have information of enormous value. Your reward upon securing the integrity of this information and, secondarily, his agent, would be commensurate with the value of said information. He takes a breath. That value is immense. Okay. Go now. He looks down, rubbing one hand with the other. Genuine worry seemed to have infiltrated his expression. Ooh, tongue twister. Alright, let's go. Let's rush. We gotta go, guys. Let's see, where is this place? It is... here, should be. Let's not go into the star, please. Can we avoid that? Thank you. Now, getting down here, we're going to run into some resistance, possibly. Ooh. Got like everybody's coming through here now. There should be an independent fleet hanging out here. Somewhere. Ah, this guy. Now, they should have actually come after us, I think. Because they are supposed to be guarding this spot, so I think that's probably a little bit of a bug. They should not be going after pirate raiders, but guarding this area. So we are just going to go dark here. And we're going to salvage. So we find a bunch of wreckage, but there's a transponder, and we retrieve it, and we inspect the core. Your tech officer makes a quick work of cleaning up the core and setting up a short-range EM field interface. Doesn't take long for a report. The contents of the file system held in the core are encrypted, of course, by Tritachyon's best. There is readable metadata, however. What is this? A bunch of Andradas with different names? What? It's hard to say, your tech officer looks hesitant. I mean, Andrada. A list with names? I'd say family of some kind, but it doesn't match anything in the public demography file. Demography? On Philip Andrada. But, it comes down to the metadata. If you examine that, all of the encrypted archives were created over a period of about a month back in Cycle 182. And then all of them except Andrada Perseus have been updated within the last week or so. What happened to Perseus? Or what didn't happen, your tech officer glances up and, nervous at being seen as impertinent, quickly continues. Perseus was last updated near the end of Cycle 205 as if a telemetry feed stopped. Or lost contact. Or someone died. Your tech officer nods the implication. I'll throw the standard breakers of the decrypt job, but it's theoretically impossible to crack before the end of the universe. If you want to read these files, we're going to need another way in. Okay. So we have backups of the files now. See, they are probably coming back here to annoy us. I don't feel like dealing with them. They do have a Paragon in their fleet we could take. Oh, they spotted us. Oh, come on. No. I'm just too pretty for you, man. No, you're not going to catch me now. Sorry, my dude. Alright, we're going back to Sindria here. And we'll probably lose them once we get close to the planet. And here we are. Okay. Hey, Dolos. He wastes no time with greetings or posturing. I would not be so naive to ask you to delete your copy of this data, Macario says with inhuman calm. I'm sure your people are quite capable of creating a thorough charade of compliance. I'm going to say my silence is very much for sale. Naturally, Macario says, taking a moment to tap at a datapad. With 350 grand. So normally, if you don't mention the silence thing, you only get 150. By saying your silence can be bought, he'll give you 200 on top of that. There will come a time soon when decisions must be made, dear Captain. He takes a moment to tap at the datapad. I trust you have gained some appreciation for my generous leadership style. You mentioned an experimental ship hull in a previous conversation. Did I? He chuckles. A mercenary to the end, eh? I'll have arrangements made. I am so pleased that you value what I can provide. This will be important, and soon. And we gained an Executor-class missile battleship hull. His eyes open wide. Don't you see it, Captain? I have no need to emblazon my face upon history. Merely, he grows quiet. To direct it, correct it. Trim the loose ends which hold us back, tie us down. That is all, Captain, he says, reasserting a mask of calm. For now. I am sure we shall speak again soon. The comms cut to the crest of the Sindria Diktat Internal Security Ministry. And that is that quest completed for now. I think there's probably more to come. I'm going to guess that we might be able to get involved in the turnover of the leadership in the Sindria Diktat at some point. But for now, in version 0.96a, this is the end of the Usurpers questline. Now, before we end, let's repair our ships and... oh, right, our new ship probably needed a lot of work. So we got this Executor, and these are interesting ships. So I mean, they're not stupendous, but they are pretty solid capital ships. Now, they do unfortunately have the special modifications that all of the ships in the Sindria Diktat have. That gives them, let's see, increase in crew casualties of 10% in combat. The base flux dissipation is cut down by 5%, and repair rates for weapons and engines is cut by 25%. So, yeah, it's got a few debuffs on it, and you can restore it for a bit of change, if you want to. And once you have a lot of money, I recommend it if you're going to be using one, but right now, it's okay. So these are pretty chunky ships. They're actually faster than the base ship they're based on, which is the Pegasus. The Pegasus, I think, speed 30. These are close to 60. I guess they're 50. 60 if you have a lot of combat readiness. They have 2 large energy hardpoints, 2 rear-facing large missile hardpoints, and then a smattering of energy, hybrid, and ballistic turrets of medium flavors, and then a couple small energy turrets and a rear-facing ballistic turret. They have an energy belt coherer, which is a built-in hull mod that increases the base range of all non-beam energy and hybrid weapons by 100. However, it does increase crew casualties by an extra 50%. So yes, you will lose crew in droves using this ship. Also, just like all of the ships in the Sindrian Dictat's sort of Lion's Guard garb, they have built-in solar shielding. However, it does come at cost, so I think it is. I'm pretty sure the Pegasus has a little bit more ordnance points than this ship. But we have this ship, and I wanted to get it because since we don't have a Paragon, I wanted a ship that can provide a lot more pressure and can be a bit tankier when we go to fight the Ziggurat, which I think we'll probably try to do in, if not next episode, then the one after. But everyone, that is going to be everything for now. I'm going to head back to our home base. We're going to do some ship fixing, hopefully, and some outfitting. And at that point, I'll decide whether it's time to go and fight Ziggurat or head out on some other missions. Anyway, folks, I hope you enjoyed the Usurper's mission quest line. And as always, my name is Macario. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.